Morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Hope you're doing well. It's a gorgeous fall morning, and I am super excited because it is Transplant Day. So the beds are ready. They've been irrigated, well irrigated, I hope. We haven't checked them yet. And I've got all the transplants out here. So I wanted to show you not only what we're putting in the ground, but the map that I've made to make sure everything has a place and to make sure I have enough stems. So there's actually math that has gone into this to tell me how many seeds of every type of plant I should start. And I will also have additional plants that I'll start in January and February to help replace anything that gets eaten while over the winter, as well as to make sure I have enough, because there are some that did not germinate so great, and so I will have to add extras, but that's totally okay. As long as I know how many stems I need for the year, for the season, then I can make sure I have enough plants in the ground for that. And the way I figure that out is each plant has a certain number of stems that they produce that are usable. And there's actually tables on this, so I can just look that up. And so I know if X plant produces 5 stems, in general, 5 to 7 stems, then I can plan for 5 stems and say, okay, I need X number of plants in order to hit my goal of X number of stems. Some of these plants, like the stock, are one-hit wonders. They have one stem. Once you cut it, it's done. It's not cut and come again. Most of the plants that I grow are cut and come again, meaning you cut some stems, then they keep regrowing and you get multiple stems out of the same plant. But stock is not like that. It was one of the reasons why I haven't really chosen to continue it. However, I do have some here because I'm still trying to work through all of the seeds that I have in my seed catalog. I don't want to just throw those out because I'm no longer growing them. So I'm going to have spots in the farm where I can put rows of these plants that I'm not going to continue to grow in the future, so I can use up those seeds and still get some usable stems out of them. Okay, so let's talk about the seedlings. Okay, so you've seen these before. Back here we have Orlea, which was poor germination. There's only a handful of plants in there, but that's okay. These guys produce like 10 to 15 stems per plant. I will plant a second succession in the spring. Then we've got a whole selection of snapdragons here. You'll see that this section right here didn't germinate at all. That one is Opus Yellow. Yeah, it's weird. And then this is also snapdragons, all different colors. And the reason they look different, because the leaves look completely different, is that they are very different varieties and different, what are they called? Different types. 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning early, kind of mid-early, middle, and late blooming. Okay, here we have Amimagus. This did pretty good in germination, so we'll have plenty of plants. I think I needed 88 total, and there's 72 on here, with a few exceptions that didn't germinate. So we probably start a few more in the spring. Here we have Sinoglossum. That had excellent germination. We've got Dara, or chocolate lace flower. Okay germination, and we'll still have plenty of plants. I will start more. And then here we had spotty germination on these snaps over here. This is Status, and that's plenty. I might do more, but I think that's going to be good as long as the birds don't get them. And then we have our stock, which is just hey, I had the seeds, I'm doing it. And then another tray. This is all straw flower here, and this is all feverfew. So where are they going? Okay, so here's my map. These are the beds that we finished yesterday and have the irrigation on them. This is the road up here. So this is a row of Amimagus. Now I'm not going to have enough plants to fill this whole row. So my plan is to put the stock in here as well. And probably I'll still have some open space that will add the second succession of Ami in the spring. Then I have this tiny little section of Orlea because, like I said, they didn't germinate very well. This is going to be Bells of Ireland. I didn't bring the seeds out. This is direct sow, so I will do that probably tomorrow. Dara, our chocolate lace flower, goes there. Then we've got a whole row of snaps. and we've got feverfew status, more snaps, and the cynoglossum. Now over here, we've got strawflower going in. That won't get planted today because this row is not completely done. It's very close, but not done. This is for ranunculus, which don't arrive until next week, and so I have plenty of time to finish these rows because I have to pre-sprout them. That takes 10 days. Then Bupleurum and Campanula for these 2 rows. Now these are coming in as plugs in the very early spring, and so they won't go in yet. So I have plenty of time to finish these rows as well. And then we have these 2 beds over here for the tulips. So there is a plan, there's a method to the madness. And for the things that aren't going in today, like the strawflower, that will come home with me so it can stay and get lots of light. I don't want to leave it in this tray out here. It'll just get eaten by something. So I do have netting as well that I'm going to put over things like status that the birds really, really love to eat, and probably the feverfew as well. And then we'll just see how it goes. This is the first time, oh, there's a beautiful hawk circling above us. This is the first time that I have actually been super anxious about transplanting. I love the process. It's easy, it's enjoyable, it's relaxing. What I'm anxious about is what am I going to find when I come out tomorrow? You know, the gophers, we've pretty much taken care of because of the gopher cages that we've built these beds in. But there's still overland critters and birds. And so I'm going to do my best. But I feel like my experience over the last 2 seasons has been rough. The first season here, obviously losing so much to critters. And at home, you know, all of those vegetables that we planted, they're pretty much gone. I do have 2 beds, the raised birdies beds that are netted tightly. And so far, knock wood, they're still okay. But everything else, all the broccoli I put in the ground, cauliflower, everything, it's gone. It doesn't matter how many traps I set out. They are super crafty and they figure it out and they're smart. So snap traps only work for so long and then you need to take a break using them. So at this point, I'm just cutting my losses and I'm going to sow a whole bunch of mustard out there because I know they don't eat that. It'll be good for the soil and we can munch on it too. All right, so I'm going to start taking these trays out one at a time. We'll check on the beds and see how they're doing, and then we'll start transplanting. Oh, and by the way, the majority of these are going in at 6-inch spacing. Now, some of them are listed as 9-inch spacing. I pretty much always plant 6-inch spacing, and here's my reason. My irrigation, my drip irrigation, is 6-inch intervals for the emitters. And because we have such a dry environment here, I find that my plants do better if they are right on an emitter, or an emitter is right above them. It takes them a while to establish their root system, and if they are even 3 inches away from that emitter, it can sometimes just cause them to die because at this point in soil blocks, they have very tiny root systems. Now, over the next week, it's going to be gorgeous temperatures in the upper 70s, so fairly warm, but not hot. They should be able to establish pretty well over the next couple weeks before our frost comes. Now, it did get down to 43 Fahrenheit last night, which was colder than I expected, but we're not in the 30s yet. Hopefully that's a month away, just so these guys have some time to get adapted since they're going into the ground so late this year. All right, let's get started. Okay, well, transplanting done. I definitely still have more space than I had thought, which means that I didn't put the right spacing in the computer program, but that's okay. So that whole row is filled, the back row. This row has a space in the middle for the bupleurum that will be direct sown. This row is all filled with snapdragons except for the last third, which I think I'll just get more I think I'll just sow more snapdragons for the spring. Then we put in the feverfew and all the status. Oh no, I'm sorry, Stanoglossom. And then this is all straw flower. So I still have some space in these beds, which is good because I don't have to rush as much for the other beds. We still have some space, planting space here, protected planting space. So I probably will, instead of leaving it bare, I'll probably put ranunculus in the leftover of this bed that has the straw flower in it, and I'll direct sow a few more things like giant poppy pods, etc. So we've got status in the ground, and I think tomorrow when I come out, I will try to get it protected. But right now it's so tiny, I don't think that the birds would even see it to get to it. Those little guys right there. So I'm not going to worry too much. And then we just have this little space right here in between the snaps that I'll just leave for more snapdragons. And in fact, I might just direct sow for the heck of it because I have a lot of seeds. And if they come up, they come up. If they don't, they don't. I'll just put more in there in the spring. So this feels good. It feels also a little, I'm anxious to see what's still going to be here when I come back tomorrow. But tomorrow, I'm hoping to do the tulips. So I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful time in your gardens, and I'll see you next time. Bye.